So hello everybody, happy to be here at the Mimmit Koodaa webinar to talk about this important topic. So I'm Lotta Harald and this is Julia Ranta, my colleague from Accenture. And as Milja already explained, so we are going to talk about the recent study that we conducted together with Mimmit Koodaa, Women in Tech and Tekniikan Akateemiset this summer. And we will first start off with a presentation of the results, and then we will have a dialogue with Julia after that. And in the spirit of inclusivity, we decided to actually do this in English, so that everybody can follow regardless of your language skills. All right, so let's start by looking a bit at the research results. So as Milja mentioned, this was a study that we conducted in a cooperation between organizations that are very eager to kind of promote the career possibilities for females, and we wanted to understand the state of inclusivity in companies in Finland and what this inclusivity means for females and how they can thrive in their tech roles. And let's then go into the research and take a look a bit at the key results. So first of all, some good news. Often many think that females, well, they don't want to have leadership positions, that's why they are not there. But actually in this study we can conclude that females are really actually very ambitious, and half of them state that they actually want to be in a leadership role. So this was a myth that females are not interested in pursuing challenging positions at work. But unfortunately 1/3, however, do think that it is pretty difficult to thrive in technology. Good news is that there's of course an amount of females that do think that they can thrive, but we can see that there are quite big differences between the opinions of the females in this study. So that's why we wanted to dig a bit deeper into this and understand why is it so, and what are these big differences between these groups. So let's take a look a bit at more in-depth findings of the study. So we had 800 women in this study, and we pulled out two groups from the sample to understand a bit the differences between the females who feel that their work culture is very inclusive, and then the females who feel that they do not really work in an inclusive work culture. So we have here then a group of females who represent kind of the top 20% of the most inclusive work cultures, and then the bottom 20% that represent those females who feel that it's not that inclusive at work. So we wanted to compare these two groups to each other to understand the differences between the top and the bottom. And here we can see that inclusion really matters. So you can see really big differences between these two groups. So many females who are in these inclusive work cultures, they are really passionate about their work. They love their jobs. As you can see, a big percentage of them are saying, like 70% say that they love their jobs. So that's a great, passionate kind of group of people, and very committed to their employers and their work. They are also very happy with their advancement. As you can see, there's a big percentage of them who really feel that they are making good progress in their careers, in their jobs, and are happy about this. They also believe that females can thrive in technology. And when we compare these two groups, we can really see the dramatic differences. The belief in yourself is clearly much smaller in these non-inclusive work cultures. It's really below 10%, so that's a really, really small amount of people who believe in that, who are representing this bottom 20 group. Then when looking at a couple of things here, like how females feel that they are treated at work. So many females in these non-inclusive work cultures really feel that they are often treated much more junior than their male colleagues. And again, in the more inclusive cultures, we can see a very big percentage that are happy and do not feel any inequality in this. Also, when we look at the pay, which is always interesting topic, so here we can see also these differences between the beliefs of these females. That, those who are working in inclusive cultures also feel that pay equality is there. And then looking at loyalty, so we know that there's a huge battle for talent going on right now. So companies should really pay attention to this inclusivity and building an equal work culture. When you look at females and how they responded, that will they leave their jobs in 2 years? So over 50% of the females who are happy with the inclusivity of their work culture are very committed, so they do not see them leaving their current employer. But then the other group, we can see a really dramatic low percentage here, and they are very much looking around for new jobs. So in this competition for tech talent, this is something really to pay attention to. All right, then when we look at these things that, well, what should companies then do? What are the most important things to put in place when building an inclusive work culture? So let's take a look at that. In this research, we actually identified 7 things that are the most important and significant that really drive the commitment and how females thrive at their jobs. So here we can see these 7 elements. So they are all about providing a work culture, a workplace where people can be at their best, where they have freedom to be themselves, where people feel that nobody is being excluded, where people are trusted, given responsibility, where promotions go to the best employees, where sexual harassment is not tolerated, and also the organization has succeeded in both attracting, retaining, and advancing women in a systematic manner. So here are 7 ingredients where you can start off from. So it's not just one silver bullet that you can fix, but there are actually many dimensions here. And in the research, we actually looked at about 40 different dimensions in total, and these 7 surfaced as the most significant ones. Then jumping on to some practical next steps. So what should companies then do to get started? First of all, let's look at the current state. We really need to understand that where is the company right now? So in many studies that we have done before at Accenture, we can see that there's a bit of a perception gap here. So leadership often thinks that we are doing great, and employees don't agree. We did a global study a few years ago where about 70% of leadership said that yes, we have an equal work culture, while only 30% of the employees thought the same. So first, let's understand the current situation in your organization. Then also gather more in-depth insights. If women leave, why are they leaving from the technology roles? What is wrong? What is it that is either pulling them or pushing them away? Target setting, that's really important. So many organizations have now launched their diversity targets, but in the study we saw that there's still 1/3 who have not done that yet. So there's no target for diversity or inclusion, and this is an important thing to make it concrete and show the commitment. Then when it comes to acting, so of course there's a lot of leadership work to be done, but this is actually up to everybody. So everybody should be thinking about what can I do to make the work environment more inclusive. And for example, then in companies, it's important to provide training for personnel, because all of us actually have some unconscious biases, and we may be doing something that results in somebody else feeling not included. So for example, there are trainings available for understanding what are your unconscious biases and how can you then take these into account in your behavior and your decisions. And then finally, last but not least, we need to make some noise about this topic. So organizations should really internally be very clear on what is their ambition, current state, what actions are they taking, what are the targets, and also communicate them externally, so that people who are thinking about what's their next place to work really knows the commitments of the company. So those are concrete steps that we can see here that companies should be looking into. Then if we summarize everything here, so here we can see the key points that I just talked through. So women are ambitious, but 1/3 feel that it's difficult to still thrive in technology roles. People feel that those organizations where there's not an inclusive work culture, we have challenges in various different areas here. So people are not passionate, not happy, they don't feel that they can thrive, they don't have the self-confidence, they believe that they are treated more junior, and there's challenges with the pay equality. So there are clear differences between equal and non-equal cultures. And then we have identified 7 elements that in this study were the most significant ones. So these are here in the middle here, and then we have also those key actions where to get started with building an inclusivity strategy and culture in the organization. So this was a very speedy and a quick summary of the results, and now I'll invite Julia here to join me here in front of the camera to talk a bit about these results and how do you see those. So Julia, first of all, tell us a bit about your work. So you're in Accenture's technology unit, and tell me a bit about what are you doing there in concrete terms.
Yes, so currently I am a business analyst, and actually I have been application developer before, but currently I work in a role in between tech and business. So it's something in between client and developers, if to be told shortly about my role.
Okay, so how did you end up in a technology role? I know you have a different background actually originally.
Yes, actually I'm a career changer. So I studied before art and design, and I worked in fashion. And then one day I decided that, hey, I'm actually going to change for information technology. And what I did, that I went to study and re-educated myself for information technology in Haga-Helia. And for many, this could be a little bit unconventional path. And this is something that I think it's really inspiring to see people from different cultures, from different perspectives, from different backgrounds. And this is something that we should try.
Well, that sounds like a really interesting jump, from something completely different to technology.
Yeah.
So, would you have any kind of advice shortly about what would you say for people kind of doing something completely different and thinking about changing into a technology career?
Yes. Well, I would say first that we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to other people. There are always going to be doubters. There are always going to be people who don't believe in you. And it's really important that we really trust ourselves, who we are and what we do. Also, this path, everyone has their own path. So don't compare yourself for, people who have been already since childhood doing coding or whatever else. It's your mission, it's your path, how you're going to build your own progress. And for me, for example, I came to Accenture through internship 2 times. And this was something that I felt like was really scary for me. But at the same time, I knew that, this is the path and I believe in myself. So be persistent, don't compare yourself to others, and have courage. There's always going to be doubters. You're going to fail, but you have to fail fast and just continue.
Great advice, and I guess this type of internship program is quite a good way to get a bit to know different companies and also to kind of feel that is this something for you. So something that I would recommend for people thinking about these types of trying out something new. Good. Hey, let's talk a bit about the research. So I just had this very, speedy presentation about the results, and you have also checked it out. So what was for you especially interesting as a kind of young tech professional in these results?
Yes, for me, the most important aspect was the question, why women leave tech? If we are already getting women in there, but what makes them leave there? And I feel like there is maybe the environment that it's, traditionally been male-dominated. So how we can create as an individuals and how we can make it better for women, that they will feel comfortable, they will stay in there. This is one question. Another one that I was really thinking about was this, because women want advancement. They want to be leaders. So how can we actually change this and inspire women and give them opportunities to be these leaders? Because we communicate differently than men. We might express ourselves differently. So it's our target and mission to create this environment where women can thrive and they can progress.
Yeah. So when I was digging into the research results, I looked at this, that why are women then leaving tech? Because part of the respondents had actually been in tech roles previously and then left. A small portion of the respondents were like this, and they did say that, okay, they need change, and that was one kind of a general topic. But then they also mentioned things like work-life balance, that it's very difficult to find that, and also they felt that they didn't really fit into the culture. So these were among the top things. So things like that there's actually a culture where you don't feel that you fit in. So that's something for companies to take note of for sure, and think, look themselves in the mirror and think that is this a culture where everybody can thrive, women and everybody else, all different types of minorities, of course. All right, so when we think about this inclusivity, so there were like 7 factors mentioned here, but what from your perspective, when you think on concrete terms, so how have you experienced inclusivity at the workplace? So what kind of concrete things do you see in your job that kind of build the inclusivity?
Yes, for me personally, I've seen that my employer provides networking possibilities and opportunities, which is for me really important. As an international person, and when thinking about inclusivity, it's internationalism, it's people from different various backgrounds, different perspectives. It's really important that there is provided opportunity for networking with women, with people from around the world. So this kind of possibility of being yourself and being in different places. Another thing I would say concretely, have these role models in the company, women who are in technology, in leadership positions. So we juniors could actually look up for them and not just, just be there and look for examples, but there is concretely a person who can help you in your career advancement and encourage you and empower you. So these are the concrete examples that I have seen in my workplace.
Okay, yeah, and as Milja also mentioned in the intro, so we have been working together with Mimmit Koodaa also on this podcast series called Teknologiarooleissa, so technology paths in English. So, and that's where we have really wanted from really different types of industries, not only the kind of traditional tech companies, to pull in different women and also more junior people to tell about, you know, how did they end up in a tech role and provide this inspiration and ideas for different females. And it was really great to see that there were many people who didn't really have even a tech education, but then through, you know, a big interest and passion towards the topic, they found themselves, you know, through various different work experiences in interesting technology roles. And so that's a, you know, listening tip for everybody. Go and check it out. All right. Then if we think about this also topic about that, you know, inclusivity must happen through personal action. So of course leadership has a really big role. But what do you, Julia, as kind of, this is an important topic for you, I know, and you're kind of active in this, but what do you personally do?
Yes, I would say everything comes from your own activity. So in environments where you maybe feel like it's not best for you, or you feel like there could be changes, it's your own kind of way that you should be going and trying different paths. It's your own enthusiasm, it's your own courage to do that. So own activity, and I would say also this actions of kindness, actions of being yourself. Be the change that you want to see. So actively try to take different paths, listen, be kind to people, because that's how everything starts. When you're kind to people, people are kind back to you, and that's how the opportunities are created. So change the things that you want to see changing.
Yeah. And one concrete thing that I know you're involved with, we shortly also cover that still. We have a few minutes left. And so you're part of this Accenture Mental Health Ally Network. I'm actually also part of that network, but you're even in the core team of the network. I'm just a kind of a regular member. So tell us a bit about that type of activity, because I think mental health is something that is you know, talked now a lot about, and how that is really important to build this kind of culture where you can be yourself and talk about your you know, health and also the mental health topics, which have been a bit kind of there's been a bit of stigma around the topic easily in many places. So talk about that a bit.
Yes, so mental health should be considered as a priority in companies, in my opinion, and I'm the person who is driving the change, and that's the mission. And about this mental health network, so this is a network of certified allies in our company Accenture, and we have currently about almost 9,000 people who are these allies. And these allies, they are people who are the first step that you can contact when you are feeling some challenges or you want more help, or you know, you don't know what to do. So we are the first contact path. We can be recognized from this
lanyard.
Lanyard badges, and those basically, it's easier to find us. And what is our mission is we educate people for mental health. How do you say it?
Yeah, so we educate people to understand, you know, what are the channels to reach out to if you have some problems, and we are kind of acting as the kind of advisors or consultants for people who don't know what the first step is.
Yes.
So we have a training for everybody who is involved in the network, and I did that actually last year myself. So I think that's really a great kind of concrete action for companies, for example, to take these types of things on the agenda. There's many different ways to do this. This was an example of how we are working on it.
And also we are community of like-minded people who drive this change. So.
Exactly. Yes. Good. I think we have just enough time to say a couple of summary words. So thanks all for listening to this presentation, and it was a great pleasure to share these results of this research and talk to lovely Julia here, who is a great young professional in technology, and personally I'm super excited about this topic. So take a look at the report in our virtual booth, and please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
Take care of your mental health.
Exactly. Thank you.